you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I'm doing this week's episode.
Yay!
See how it goes. So this episode is about the legend and folklore of Stagger, which was inspired by an actual murder that happened in St. Louis by a man named Stagg Lee Shelton.
Okay.
Have you heard of Stagger before?
I'm not.
I honestly haven't as well before this, and it's interesting kind of tale and interesting how it kind of has woven into our culture in some sense.
It's weaving.
Woven.
Okay.
Okay, reading. Throughout the past century, the story of Stagger Lee has been retold and reinvented in American pop culture through various media, mainly featuring as a dominant figure in African American culture. The character of Stagger Lee has morphed into a heroic outlaw that represents self-pride, defiance against authority, and strength against adversity. Basically, he's just a badass.
Hell yeah.
Badass, yeah.
Badass.
However, the actual story of Stagger Lee is a little different from what is portrayed in the various media that the now infamous man has surprisingly created.
Okay.
Lee Shelton was an African American man that was part-time carriage driver and full-time pimp and gambler.
Love it already.
I know, right?
It's pretty great.
I mean, who doesn't like pimps?
It's pretty great.
As long as you treat your women right.
Yeah, you gotta treat them right.
Yes.
It's pretty great.
Okay. He was part of the Macs or Mackerels, which were a group of pimps in St. Louis known for their swaggering style and flashy clothes.
Mackerels. It sounds like it's like a French pastry.
Mackerels.
Mackerels.
I mean, St. Louis is named after the French king.
It's true.
But yes, he has his cane, he has his hat, he'd be strutting down the street.
He's got a feather in his cap.
Can't tell my way. Anyway, he adopted the nickname Stagg Lee or Stack Lee, Stag with a G and the Stack with a CK at the end. There's two.
Stag.
Or
like
a
stack.
deer. Stack, like stacking boxes. Yes, is that clear to the people?
I think they got it.
Okay, good. Either due to his lack of friends, going stag, or he took the name of a well-known riverboat captain, Stagger Lee, who owned the famous Lee steam line riverboats that went up and down the Mississippi River. Physically, Shelton was an imposing man. He was 5'7", with a crossed left eye, and appeared to be a mixed race, having a lighter complexion.
I mean, 5'7" back in this time, right? Can you cross just...
No.
Am I doing it? I think I'm crossing both of them.
That's my left.
You just...
I can't.
No, mine cross both of them. So like 5'7".
Yeah, people were shorter back then.
They were
That's
shorter
your
back
height,
then.
right?
Yeah, 5'7".
Okay.
5'7" and a half.
5'7" and a half. Oh, girl.
Don't forget my half. I'm a woman of above average height.
Yes, I'm average height. I'm 5'4" and a half. I round up to 5'5". This is just easier.
It's just easier.
Shelton also owned the Modern Horseshoe Club, a notorious night spot in the red light district known as the Deep Morgan, where he presumably used his job as a carriage driver to direct white visitors getting off the train to his nightclub, brothels, or to the girls he personally owned.
Okay, so wait. It was called the Modern Horseshoe.
Yes.
But
Modern
they also
Horseshoe Club.
called it the Deep Morgan?
No. The Deep Morgan was the area.
Oh, gotcha.
Where it was a red light district.
It was, okay.
Red light district. We still reference that as the east side. We're going to the east side.
Going to the east side. We're going to go to Deep Morgan.
The hookers.
We're going to hookers.
Hookers.
The prostitutes are on the east side. Just like in Kansas City, they're off Prospect.
So yes.
Okay.
Deep Morgan is the red light district. And then the Horseshoe, Modern Horseshoe, is his club that he personally owns because he's a businessman.
He's good. It's his business.
He has him carriages.
He's an entrepreneur.
He's
got carriages. He's got the saloons.
Yes.
He's got his girls.
He's on
entrepreneur.
He's on top of things.
With his pimp cane.
Mm-hmm. And his
hat. Stinson.
Okay. Shelton was also the president of a black political and social group called the 400 Club, which strongly supported the city's Democratic Party, where he would recruit rich and influential African Americans to support them. I mean, this man does it all.
Yeah. Entrepreneur, pimp.
Involved in politics.
Politics guy.
Better. Yeah.
I love it.
Good for him.
Yeah. All around guy.
Yeah. Okay. According to legend, on December 27, 1895, Stagger, Shelton, and Levy Hand, William Billy Lyons, another African-American man and casual friend of Shelton's, were drinking at Billy Curtis's saloon, where after a game of chance, an argument ensued, where Shelton struck and then shot Billy Lyons in the stomach over him snatching Lee's Stinson hat.
He just took that hat right off his head.
I mean, you don't take a man's hat.
That's his property.
Mm-hmm. The Ballad of Stagger Lee states, "I can't let you go with that. You don't want my money. You can't have my Stinson hat." He did his head shake. Okay, Billy eventually died shortly after the next morning from his wound. As you do.
You do. I mean, you get shot, you especially back here.
Yeah, in a bar.
In a saloon.
Yeah, and it was a dominantly African American, area.
At that time, their medications that they got like secondhand me-downs for a good while. So I mean, okay.
Poor Billy. Okay. However, the original article in the St. Louis Daily Globe Democrat that reported the incident stated that the two's argument wasn't over gambling or a game of craps. As a later article stated, but politics. Politics. Gonna talk about politics.
As they shoot people.
Bing. Isn't that how all politics go?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It was believed that Lyons was a Republican supporter and recruiter, and the two got into a heated debate over their different political views that escalated due to their drinking. Leeson...
This is why you don't drink and talk about political things, guys.
Oh, God. Leeson dented Billy's derby hat, and Billy grabbed Lee's Stinson. Lee pulled out his gun and threatened to shoot Billy unless he returned his hat to him. Variations of the legend state that Billy begged for his life, saying, "Please don't take my life. I got 2 little babies and a darling, loving wife."
Oh,
I went Southern there.
You did go Southern.
I tried. But Billy actually refused to return Lee's hat, taking out a knife and stating, "I'm going to make you kill me." Okay.
Why would you take a knife?
Because he didn't have a gun. He was stupid and brought a knife to a gunfight.
Oh my gosh, this is where it started?
Probably.
You don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
I didn't read anything about that, but I just imagined the Indiana Jones movie.
Great movie.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
If you don't know,
If you don't know,
here, I'll tell you.
The reason why Indiana Jones
shoots
the guy in Egypt who's doing all the sword things because he was sick. And he was just like, "I'm done."
Well, I heard that he had so many takes.
He had so many takes, but he was actually sick with a stomach flu. And finally, he's just like, and he turned around, and that was in 1 take. So,
yes, Harrison.
Go Harrison Ford. Good on you.
Okay. Lee hit Billy over the head with his .44 caliber Smith & Wesson. Other iterations indicate it was a .41 or .45 caliber. And when it didn't produce the result he wanted, Lee shot Billy in the abdomen. Billy staggered back along the bar railing as Lee walked up to him and grabbed his Stinson hat and said, "I told you to give me my hat back."
Should have gave me the hat back.
Yeah,
that's what you should have done.
Overall moral of the story.
Right? Don't take people's hats, and when he asks for them, give them back.
Lee then turned and walked calmly away, but was arrested the next day, though there were versions of the tale that had the authorities too frightened to even arrest him.
Because he was such a big, powerful man.
Yes, that's his persona, his outlaw, don't mess with me kind of persona. That's why people are like, they're not going to arrest him. He's too badass.
Okay.
Yeah. Various iterations of the tale have Stagger Lee executed for killing Billy Lyons, saying, "Judge stood in the courtroom, said, 'Mr. Stagger Lee, want to hang your body high, gonna set your spirit free.'"
I hope there's no judge that actually would say that.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone did.
I feel like that's not something you should say, a judge. But okay, continue.
I'm sure they
Sorry.
did.
They probably did, but you shouldn't say
No,
that.
not now, especially.
Oh, no.
In actuality, after Stagger Lee Shelton was arrested, he was tried the following year in 1896. Shelton's trial received significant exposure and scrutiny due to the supposed political nature of why Lyons was killed. It probably also had something to do with it being election year. Politics.
Ruin the world with everything they do.
With politics.
And then shoot with gun.
Bam! Okay. At the time, St. Louis was the 4th largest city in America, and politicians were eager to get every vote, including black votes. Since the Civil War, the majority of blacks voted Republican due to Abraham Lincoln being a Republican and him abolishing slavery in 1865, and black men having the ability to vote in 1870. But many of the Republicans' promises did not materialize over the years. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. A long while. Causing many African Americans to support the Democratic Party, such as Shelton did. Shelton's influence due to his position in the 400 Club and pimping out his girls in local clubs could possibly persuade voters to vote Democratic and not Republican.
I'm just seeing him put a button on his girl.
Yeah, the titties.
He's putting buttons on his girls and be like, get them to vote Democrat.
I'm hypnotizing you. So how it was back then, they had a ward system kind of thing, and the neighborhoods like elected like mayors, which were mostly barkeeps, saloon keeps.
Saloon keeps.
Yes, and you didn't have to be registered to vote at the time. So, you know, barkeeps would like, here you go, son, like have a drinky drink, and maybe you can like vote over there and vote Democratic.
Yeah, because so like in this time period, it's not the same really now, obviously,
yes.
We register to vote, but at the time, multiple people, especially if you were a drunkard, they would have the voting houses inside bars and saloons, and then every time you would vote, they would give you a drink. This is actually, they would, gangs especially, if they were trying to influence, trying to get another political party in the office that was inside their gang, they would do this technique that they would get multiple people, especially if they were drunkards, and dress them up and put them in the bar. And get them to vote.
That's what they said happened to Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. That was probably the cause of his death, actually, because he had a disease, or no, he had a chromosome. There was something wrong with him, but one drink could get him severely drunk. So he tried not to drink that much, and that's why a lot of people are like, when he's drunk, and I'm like, it's all for one drink. But yeah, so that's what they would do with the saloons.
And like I said, they're just visiting the area. You don't have to be registered.
You don't register to vote. So like you could vote, like I think, until at that same place as many times as you wanted, I feel like.
And so, you know, Shelton, he had the girls, he owned a club, he had good service with the carriage, and it's just like, some people be like, he has swayed, so we need to, I guess, stop him in a sense.
I'm gonna stop that.
And we'll see maybe why.
Okay.
It is believed that one of the richest black men in St. Louis and Republican Henry Bridgewater had his brother-in-law, Billy Lyons, go and talk to Shelton about making a deal between the Democratic and Republican factions of the Deep Morgan, which explains why the friendly conversation took a heated turn once Shelton and Lyons started discussing politics. Billy was also known by police as a rowdy bully, so Bridgewater believed if things did get heated, that he would be able to handle himself.
Obviously not, Bridgewater.
No, he took a knife. You should always carry a gun.
Oh, well, if there's going to be other guns there, yeah, take a gun.
Yes. So, yeah, Henry wanted to, you know, make a deal with Shelton, so he had Billy go and talk to him, and he thought, you know, I guess he wanted to be like, hey, why don't we make the odds even and not you don't have that much influence, you know.
And we won't have that much influence.
Yeah,
we'll just see who wins.
Make it even fight.
Right.
It didn't happen.
It's not how it works in politics,
No.
especially if you have hookers at a bar.
With alcohol.
With alcohol as a reward. With the hookers.
Yes. So a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lee Shelton was able to hire lawyer Nathaniel Dryden, who was the first lawyer in the state of Missouri to convict a white man for a black man's murder.
Love it.
Out of 300 angry African Americans hissed and yelled at Shelton and Dryden as they entered the courthouse.
Okay.
I'm not sure why. I assume they were Republican, or maybe they were angry he shot. Obviously, angry he shot Billy. Or maybe that was all his friends. He had 300 friends.
That's a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I barely have 5.
I tried to why they were out there angry. Maybe he was a nuisance. Maybe.
Could be.
You didn't elaborate why.
They were just angry that he shot someone in the community. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's possible. Yeah.
Giving the community of Deep Morgan a bad name.
Yeah. I think it already has.
Right? I'm like, it's your red light district, so. But okay.
Yeah. Okay. Shelton was held on bond at $4,000, about $100,000 in today's money. He was able to make bail and go home to await trial. Many people assume that he was able to make bail due to his political connections. On July 15, 1896, Shelton claimed he killed lions in self-defense, and the jury could not reach a verdict, causing a mistrial. The second trial, however, found Lee Shelton guilty, and he was sentenced to jail for 25 years in the Jefferson City Penitentiary in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Okay.
So his lawyer, Nathaniel, he was really good at his job. He
sounds like
He can
it.
evict anyone and anything, but he had his problems with the drugs and the alcohol. He liked his opioids. And so...
Was it opium or opioids? Because this is,
Maybe
1800s,
probably
right?
opium.
So it was probably opium.
Oh, okay.
He sounds like a great lawyer who I would love to have as my lawyer.
Yeah, he seemed like a fun guy, and I'm pretty sure he liked his girls as well.
Probably liked to party.
Shelton, and him were a tag team.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
However, he was, a mistrial the first trial. Right before the second trial, Mr. Nathaniel, he overdosed.
Aww, poor
And-
Mr. Nathaniel.
He probably could got, acquitted.
He probably could have.
But Mr. Nathaniel had his demons, as we all do.
We all have demons.
Yes.
His
yes,
just
yes.
happened to be, drugs and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Like most people, unfortunately.
Happens.
It happens. Okay. However, in 1909, Stagger Lee Shelton was released from prison, and Governor Joseph Wingate Volk gave him a full pardon on Thanksgiving Day. By this time, various versions of the Ballad of Stagger Lee were being sung all over the South as a work chant or field holler as people worked on the levees and fields.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, did he know that there's a song being sung about him? This man is still alive, and there's a song, all over the South, talk about his life. That's kind of true, kind of not.
It could be. He could.
I would assume. I'm sure he didn't know it was going to be this big of a thing.
Right. Watch him he'll be in jail, and all of a sudden someone says start singing the Stagger Lee song.
Yeah, I'm that's...
And he's just like, what?
What do you want?
Where'd you hear this from?
I wonder if they he tried to autographs and all that stuff. He was a celebrity. I wanted to know if he was actually a celebrity in prison, because most of the time he's been in prison.
Could have been.
He has a good rep, I guess.
I guess.
There's a song sung about him as a murderer.
Yeah.
How good can you get?
Apparently that good.
Not good. Okay, where am I? The following year, in 1910, the Library of Congress musicologist John Lummox received a partial transcript of the Ballad of Stagger Lee from a woman in Texas, Ella Fisher, and in 1911, the first published version of the lyrics appeared in the Journal of American Folklore. Also in 1911, Lee Shelton soon returned to prison for killing a man while trying to rob the man's home.
Maybe don't rob someone.
Maybe don't kill someone.
And don't kill
again.
someone. Because,
It's
you just got out of prison for killing someone.
You did half the sentence.
And you did half your sentence.
Dude. Really?
You got out.
Really? Okay.
Alright.
Shelton died the following year in the prison hospital on March 11 of tuberculosis.
That's a way to die.
Yeah, it's not...
You're drowning in your own blood.
Yeah, it's not a great way. According to folk tales, after Stagger Lee's death, he attempted to enter heaven. Stagger Lee went to heaven, and he met St. Peter there. Says, turn around, go down the other way. We don't allow no gamblers here.
You think St. Peter would be like, hey, I don't want killers here.
Not gamblers.
Not gamblers. He's like, oh, no, you killed someone? Come on up. Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
What about forgiveness, Peter? Whatever.
Gambling? I feel like gambling is a sin that you can still get up into heaven for, but killing someone, that shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless, Peter was like, I understand why you killed him because he took your hat and that was just wrong.
Yeah, St. Peter could have been like,
As Stagger Lee enters hell, he tells the devil, get up on your shelf. My name is Stagger Lee, and I'm going to run this place myself. Even in death, Stagger Lee triumphs, presenting himself as a larger-than-life figure that challenges authority and that no one messes with. Continuing his badassery of, don't mess with me, I'm an awesome dude.
don't mess with me. I'm Stagger Lee.
Yeah.
With my pip cane.
In my hat.
In my
That's
hat.
how Hack's spelled. He's like a peacock. After Lee Shelton's death, the tale of Stagger Lee became more synonymous with African American culture and eventually materializing in overall pop culture. Variations of the legend have him named as Stagger Lee, Stag-O-Lee, and Stack-O-Lee.
Stack-O-Lee.
And I'm sure there's other ones. There was a Stag-O-Lee as well that I said before. There's too many.
There's so many variations.
The story takes place in St. Louis, Memphis, or New Orleans.
New Orleans.
In the year 1932, 1940, or 1952. On Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, he goes to the bar called the Bucket of Blood, or the White Elephant, where he kills a man named Billy Lion, or Billy DeLong, where he stole or won Lee's Stetson hat. While others say that Stagger Lee was kissing Billy's wife instead of them gambling that caused the argument, some versions of the story had Billy as a white police officer, while others have Stagger Lee kill the bartender before killing Billy. How can you keep these all straight?
I don't know, but I love the name of the saloon was Bucket of Blood.
I know.
That's pretty great. I don't know, but it's Bucket of Blood Saloon.
The story has inspired poems, 2 novels, one by Cecil Brown called Stagger Lee Shot Billy, a short story, PhD dissertations, and award-winning graphic novel called Stagger Lee. It was even made into a musical, a pornography film, and inspired a hard cider. I did not watch the porn film.
Have you tried the cider?
No. Have you tried the cider?
I don't think so. Is it called Stagger Lee?
I don't know. Some iteration of Stagger Lee or Stacko Lee or.
I mean, I used to drink a lot. I don't drink anymore, but I mean, I used to drink a lot.
We're not going to talk about the porn film.
We're going to talk about the porn film. I love how there's a porn film.
We don't have to say on the porn film. I did imagine
what it would be.
Yes, but I won't.
It's a guy whose name is Stag Lee.
Stag Lee.
Because he's a stag.
Go from there. He's a stag.
He's a stag.
But most artists tend to reinvent and interpret the tale through song. I didn't go to school for that. From jazz, blues, rock, country, and folk, there are over 400 songs that have been sung about or inspired by the tale of Stagger Lee.
Dang.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's closer to 450, actually.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know.
That's a lot.
Who has time for that?
Apparently all these
Why do the people keep singing it?
It's a good song, apparently.
So, and it's not all the same song. The 2 most famous versions probably being Stacko Lee by Mississippi John Hurt in 1928 and Stagger Lee by Lloyd Price in 1958. Other famous artists that have sung about the legend include Duke Ellington, Ma Rainey, Fats Domino, Ike and Tina Turner, the Righteous Brothers, Elvis Presley, James Brown, Bob Dylan, The Clash, Grateful Dead, Elton John, Huey Lewis, Beck, Nick Cave, Amy Winehouse, and the Black Keys.
Oh my gosh! Like, I feel like I listened to like half of these artists, and I don't remember
the ones that I'm like I respect these people. There were more.
There was more, but
there were
like
so many more.
There's over 400 songs.
Yes. Yeah. The tale can be heard on a few movie soundtracks, including Porky's Revenge, All I Want for Christmas, Death Proof, Honey Dripper, and The Black Snake Moan, where Samuel L. Jackson's character sings a version of the folk tale.
Samuel.
Yeah, Samuel. He's a treasure.
He is.
However the tale is interpreted, the various incarnations of Stagger Lee portrays a strong black man doing whatever it takes to make his way in a white man's world. Always ready to extract revenge on anyone who fails to treat him with respect he knows he deserves.
Damn straight.
The end.
Wow.
Yeah. I learned a lot.
Yeah, 400 songs.
Yeah.
On this one tale, and so many variations of it too.
And I mean, I enjoyed it mostly because it's about music and murder. Two of my favorite things.
Music and murder. It's perfect.
Yeah. And I learned that it was other songs, murder